American officials and military commanders are increasingly framing the confrontation with Iran in religious holy war terms. And the theological ideology driving this could reshape American foreign policy for decades in ways most people do not understand. Let's start with the explicit statements. Senator Lindsey Graham recently declared, "This is a religious war. Who wins it at the end of the day?" To the radical Islamic terrorists who want to kill all the Jews because God told them to, who want to kill me because I'm an infidel. This is not campaign rhetoric. This is a sitting senator describing active American military policy as religious conflict. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson went further, calling Iran's religion misguided while justifying military action. Senator Kevin Cramer, when confronted about war powers, stated plainly that the United States has a biblical responsibility to Israel. Not strategic, not allied, biblical. But the most concerning reports come from inside the military itself. Multiple military commanders have reportedly told troops that President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to usher in Armageddon and mark Christ's return to earth. This is not fringe internet conspiracy. These are formal complaints filed with nonprofit organizations about active duty commanders violating separation of church and state while preparing troops for war. To understand why this is happening, you need to understand dispensationalism, a theological movement building in American evangelical circles for decades. Dispensationalism divides history into specific periods or dispensations, each with distinct divine plans. The critical element, dispensationalists substitute the modern state of Israel for every biblical reference to Israel. Everywhere Scripture mentions Israel, they read that as the country established in 1948. This creates theological imperative. If modern Israel is biblically prophesied, supporting it becomes religious obligation, not strategy, divine command. The movement gained massive popularity in the 1990s through the Left Behind series, which portrayed dispensationalist end times as thriller entertainment. Millions absorbed this framework. It teaches that specific events must occur before Christ returns, and rebuilding the third temple in Jerusalem is one of those events. This is where theology collides with Middle East geopolitics in extraordinarily dangerous ways. The third temple refers to a Jewish temple that would be rebuilt on the Temple Mount, currently occupied by the dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, two of Islam's holiest sites. For dispensationalists, rebuilding this temple is not symbolic. It is eschatological necessity. It triggers Christ's return. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has spoken about this publicly. In 2018, around the time the U.S. Embassy moved to Jerusalem, he said, "There's no reason why the miracle of the re-establishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible. I don't know how it would happen. You don't know how it would happen, but I know that it could happen." Hegseth was careful not to explicitly endorse dispensationalism in that statement, but the language is unmistakable. And Hegseth is not just a commentator. He is Secretary of Defense, overseeing military operations. He has a crusader cross tattooed on his chest, was barred from Biden's inauguration security because of extremist tattoos, and reportedly chanted "Kill all Muslims" at a bar. He wrote American Crusade in 2020, arguing that Christian crusaders pushed back the Muslim hordes in the 12th century. American crusaders will need to muster the same courage against Islamists today. This is not abstract theology. This is the person directing American military strategy. The theological mechanism. Premillennial dispensationalists believe before Christ returns, there will be a 1,000-year reign preceded by tribulation. Jewish people rebuild the third temple, ushering in apocalyptic events. At the climax, Jewish people accept Jesus or face judgment. Critics call this using Jewish people as cannon fodder for Christian eschatology. The problem is this theology requires physical actions. The temple must be rebuilt. That means the dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque must be removed or destroyed. Any attempt means war, not just with Palestinians, with Muslims globally. And that groundwork is being laid. The Temple Institute in Jerusalem, funded by billionaires, has constructed the Ark of the Covenant to biblical specifications. It has bred red heifers according to Numbers 19 because temple rituals require unblemished red heifers. It has prepared priestly garments, ritual instruments, everything needed to resume Third Temple Judaism the moment ground is secured. This is not theoretical. This is operational readiness. Far-right Israeli politicians, including National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, have pushed boundaries on the Temple Mount. Ben-Gvir has prayed there publicly, violating long-standing agreements. Hamas cited Israeli encroachment on the Temple Mount as part of their justification for the October 7th attack, which they called Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. Israeli soldiers have been photographed wearing patches depicting the Third Temple with Hebrew text reading Devir, the Holy of Holies, the innermost sacred chamber where God was believed to dwell. The Temple Institute tweeted support for these soldiers, saying they fight for the land of Israel, the people of Israel, and the God of Israel. And yes, some of the billionaires funding the Temple Institute also donate to Republican candidates and Donald Trump. This is not conspiracy. This is documented overlap between theological movements and political power. Now at the other side, Iran is a Shia theocracy with its own eschatological beliefs. Shia Islam teaches about the Mahdi, the 12th Imam, a messianic figure who will return to establish justice. Some interpretations connect this return to conflict over Jerusalem. Extremist factions within Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps hold these beliefs seriously. So you have American dispensationalists who believe they must facilitate rebuilding the Third Temple to trigger Christ's return. You have Israeli religious nationalists who believe reclaiming the Temple Mount is divine obligation. You have Iranian Shia extremists who believe defending Islamic holy sites ties to their own eschatology. 3 eschatologies, 1 piece of land, all convinced divine prophecy requires their victory. When the United States assassinated Ayatollah Khamenei, it did not just kill a political leader. It killed one of the most significant Shia religious figures in the world. He was 86. He had publicly stated his greatest fear was dying of old age rather than as a martyr. The United States gave him exactly what he wanted. Now Shia Muslims across Iraq, Bahrain, Lebanon see a martyr. Riots in Bahrain, a country with large Shia population under Sunni rule, are not random. This is religious fury with geopolitical consequences. If his successor is radicalized by grief and religious conviction, what does that mean for the region? The assumption driving some policy is that you can bomb away theology. That destroying leadership weakens eschatological commitment. But history shows the opposite. When you kill religious leaders and frame it as civilizational war, you do not weaken belief. You intensify it. You create martyrs. You confirm the narrative that the West seeks to destroy Islam. And while this unfolds, Trump's spiritual advisor Paula White is on camera striking the ground repeatedly, shouting about angels from Africa, calling for victory. This is the spiritual counsel the president receives. Mike Huckabee, former governor, is now ambassador to Israel. Huckabee has carefully avoided explicit dispensationalism endorsement in political settings, but his rhetoric consistently aligns. He now represents American interests where far-right politicians push toward actions dispensationalists view as prophetic necessity. The question is not whether people have the right to believe this theology. They do. The question is whether American foreign policy should be driven by it. Because if you believe the Third Temple must be rebuilt to fulfill prophecy, and you hold positions of power, then war with Iran is not a policy failure. It is a theological step. If you believe Trump is anointed by God to trigger Armageddon, then the normal calculations about cost, risk, and outcome do not apply. You are not trying to win a war. You are trying to fulfill Scripture. And if you are telling troops that this is a holy war, that their mission is divinely ordained, that they are fighting to usher in the end times, then you are not preparing a military. You are preparing a crusade. This is not about one religion versus another. This is about whether eschatological belief systems should determine when and why the United States goes to war. And right now, the evidence suggests they are. The danger is that everyone involved believes they are on the side of divine will. American dispensationalists believe they are protecting Israel and fulfilling prophecy. Israeli religious nationalists believe they are reclaiming sacred land. Iranian Shia extremists believe they are defending holy sites and awaiting the Mahdi. Each side is convinced God is with them. And when people believe God commands war, there is no negotiation. There is no compromise. There is only victory or martyrdom, which means this does not end with ceasefire agreements or diplomatic settlements. It escalates until one side is destroyed or the entire region collapses. The tragedy is that most people in the United States, Israel, and Iran do not hold these extreme views. But the people making decisions increasingly do. And that is how religious ideology, no matter how fringe, becomes foreign policy, and how foreign policy becomes holy war.